Hi everyone. How are you feeling? I hope you're all coping with everything that's going on. But because I want to touch on a topic that is really important to understand and to know that you can work through this. And I'm talking about anxiety. Now, anxiety is a word that has been used in the medical industry for a long time. I don't really like it, but I'm using it in lack of a better word that we can all connect through so that I can get my message through about what that means. If you've ever experienced anxiety, you know very well what it is. Talking to all my clients, I use the word uneasiness or an inner feeling of uneasiness, or we just address the symptoms themselves. Now, this is not what I want to talk about, the word and yeah, I'll touch about the symptoms. But the thing is this, anxiety, and I lived through it for years. I literally lived through it to the extent where I could not go to the mailbox. I could not get myself to function. I couldn't go downstairs in my own house. I couldn't sit with guests in my house. I was just too anxious. I was too far gone. I was bedridden with anxiety on top of everything else I was experiencing, of course. But it was detrimental. I know this so well. And I see in what we're living right now, you know, with just what's going on in this world. I mean, you can get anxious just from that. And what I do see with people is that in today's world, it's not like it used to be. Like way before even, you know, my time. I feel really old sometimes talking about this. But we said that people had weak nerves. We're talking about the nerves when we're referring to anxiety. And it was like a psychological, mental thing. Like we believed that anxiety was a mental illness. This is how crazy it's been. And I can remember when this was a topic, people even started talking about anxiety and depression. And they most often go together. And they have a very physical cause, even though they can be triggered by emotional trauma and trigger points. But you know, in living in today's world, just take a breather and look around, you know? Do you know how many people are living with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder? Do you know how many people come to me with inflammation, arthritis, colitis, all the itises, all the inflammation? I would say 90% of all of you who's living with that is struggling with stress, post-traumatic stress. Why? Because we've been living in such stressful environment for such a long time. From being children, having needs that never got met, or being just brought up to believe that what goes on outside of you is more important than how you really feel. Not being seen, the stress of expectations in the world today for the job market. And then, you know, it doesn't get better necessarily with the internet. Just think about it. Think about the young people today, what they have to live up to. Just look at how women are supposed to look, how men are supposed to look, what we're supposed to be experiencing. Yeah, also experimenting. Where we're supposed to vacation. I mean, look at Instagram. It's all about the good stuff. It's all about the color me beautiful. It's all about showing up when you're at your best. So what we're serving is a normality looking towards never feeling good enough, never expressing who we really are. And me, I also met this kind of challenging experience this late in my life when my hair fell off for the second time and I decided, let's just go natural. I'll just go gray. See, my whole thing changed. My whole image changed. A lot of people were literally, it felt almost following me because they thought my hair was so beautiful. So I had to do something right because I had such beautiful hair. Of course, I was never my hair and it was never about that. But you know, it becomes kind of it's not a facade really, but it becomes like a brand almost. And I think the young people especially today, I mean, we adult ones, we better get it right. I mean, we better just step up and grow up and leave this trying to chase life, trying to live from the outside in. It's stressing us out. I just put out a quote on my membership site yesterday where I was saying, as long as stress is in your body, there'll be no healing. And I'll get back to that. And it sounds harsh, but the thing is this, when you're in that mode, when you're in that fear mode, which anxiety is, and again, it can sound terrible, but it's the truth. There's just no healing happening, not that hour, not really. Because your body is hanging on. Your body is under stress. This is when it produces inflammation. So the thing is this, anxiety is the sum of what everybody's been living. It's the underlying cause or the picture of the cause, which means we've been living in a very unhealthy way. And I'm not only talking about your food. I'm not only talking about lack of sunshine, lack of movement, what you breathe, what you think, what you feel. I mean, when you look at it from that standpoint, you could think or start to think that getting healthy is kind of complicated. No, it's simple, but it involves a lot of things. It doesn't have to be complicated. Everything just has to go towards nature. Everything just has to walk away from stress. You don't need it. You don't need it through people. You don't need it through what you do. You don't need it through what you think you have to do, what you think others expect from you. You don't have to. This is your life. You're much more important than this. And you see, here is the key behind anxiety. Adrenals. Your adrenal glands. The itty bitty glands that stay on top of your kidneys, sits on top of your kidneys, controlling your kidneys. This is the anxiety. When they get too low, when they get slammed down, your body starts showing symptoms. And what are the symptoms of anxiety? They're terrible. We're talking sweaty hands. We're talking a racing heart. We're talking indigestion, feeling faint, lightheaded. A very strong uneasiness, could be in the chest, could be in the stomach. Tingling. I mean, there are so many symptoms. It goes towards heart symptoms, digestive symptoms, breathing, lack of breath, not being able to, don't feeling like you can catch your breath. So many of the symptoms that we're seeing today, they're stress related. And anxiety is stress related. And why does it go together with depression? Because depression is thyroid related. We're talking lack of absorption and utilization of calcium. Calcium is needed for so many processes in the body. And it's the first mineral that will suffer when we're acidic. Yeah, acidic through how we eat, through how we think, how we feel. You can be acidic. When you're angry, that's an acidic emotion, meaning it's not like you're not going to be angry. And I'm not promoting you not feel anger. I'm promoting you don't stay there. You don't stay in the fear. And when the adrenals are down, you're feeling low in energy, but you know what's also going to happen? Your kidneys are going to feel slow. And that's fear. And then you have more fear, more to be anxious about. So we need to transform our fear. We need to transform how we see life in order to be able to take away the stressors. Now, if you've been living a life or gone through drama that is supposed to put you into a zone where you easily get anxious, I call it post-traumatic stress. I don't care about diagnosis. I don't care about how psychologists look at this. I don't care about the labeling. I really don't care about that. It doesn't matter. I'm just telling you because there is something you can look up. But the thing is, what it means is that you experience something. It could be shorter lived or it could be for a long time. Meaning, so this could be you were held at gunpoint or you were violated, abused physically, or abused sexually. It could be a one-time thing. And you go into this mode where you get startled every time something that looks dangerous that you can relate to that episode. When that happens, your body goes right back into that mode. That's what post-traumatic stress disorder really is. It's just a word saying that you have a trigger within you that can bring you right back. But the thing is this, what most people don't realize is that you can live in a dysfunctional or abusive, abusive relationship, very low grade for a long time, and that will leave you in the same situation. It's the long-term, low-grade inflammation in the body that's going to hurt you the most. Why? Because it's long-term, long-standing, of course, but also because it's hard to detect. You might not even know that it's there. We get so used to living what we're living that we feel almost, I don't know, you could feel that it would be too much about you to feel needy, to want something better. And this is the thing, you deserve everything. So to me, when I meet people that has anxiety or depression, I always work with them on, number one, looking at your whole life, see what's going on. It's not necessarily you. It is not a mental condition. It's very physical, but it has an emotional trigger to it. So it's not physical in the sense that somebody pushes you and you have anxiety. No, it's the meaning behind it. It is how you perceive what's going on that triggers it. Now, if you get into the state and you're already living an anxious life, if you're experiencing anxiety attacks, you know you have really low adrenals, and most likely you have a low thyroid, meaning your glands really need work. And this is what I've been seeing as well with women walking through menopause. Every time you become vulnerable, and that is a very vulnerable time because it's a very big shift for all of our glands. And our glands, they're the ones that produce the hormones, some of the system, in that system. Much more than that, and other organs also help with that. But just to say, they're very connected to your emotional state and how you feel in your body. The key to walking through this is not just one thing, but I want to address the stress today because everybody can do something about their stress level. So even if you didn't know this, and even if you feel you have a pretty stress-free life, if I asked you today, what can you do in your life right now that reduces the stress of your life, that then in turn reduces fear in your life? Now, we can start trusting more when it comes to the fear. And I have a lot of people come to me, and you know me, I eat a raw food diet, meaning I do not cook, I do not fry, I do not bake, I do not alter, I do not change the chemistry of the food of what I eat. So raw food is nothing special, it's just food. You go outside, you pick anything from a tree, you dig up a potato, you dig up a carrot, whatever you want to do. You don't need to change it to put it in the human body. We are not designed like that. Nature's not designed like that. And we're a part of nature. And when we walk away from that, we do feel anxious. We do feel out of sorts. Our system is struggling to keep up with us because we are not treating it in a natural way. Now you can take this further. You know, I walk barefoot. You know, I get my sunshine, I get my rest, I get my sleep, my meditation. But number one is this, I always worked on my faith, on my trust in something. It doesn't matter if you trust in nature, if you trust in God, if you trust in your own body, if you trust in the process. You need to trust to get out of here. I'm sorry. You need to trust to get out of fear. And most of the time, with the people I work with, it's always about the fear of trusting, because we're so programmed today of what we've been told, and even about anxiety. It's coming from being a mental so-called illness. It's something we want to shy away from. We don't want to experience. We're not taking the signals for what it is. We're not taking the body's message for what it actually is. That's all that it is. Every symptom in your body is a message. Doesn't have to be good, doesn't have to be bad. You don't have to judge it. You don't have to put it in a basket. You don't have to call it anything, but it's a message. And this is where we get into trouble when we're trying to numb ourselves down or suppress symptoms. Guess what? We can no longer hear the message from our body. And if we can't hear it anymore, how can we navigate from it? And this is when we get into more and more trouble, you see. We're not beings that are here to try and connect with nature. It's the other way around. We're part of nature. We are a part of Mother Nature's awakening right now. It's not we who are awakening and then we're trying to help Mother Earth. We literally become dirt. We literally are here to express from the inside out. We're not here to teach nature anything. We're not here to try to figure nature out so that we can replicate, destroy, and complicate, and chemically alter and destroy. We're here to learn. We're here to experience. We're here to observe. And we're here to trust. So, again, my friends, this was my rant about anxiety. If this is you, if you feel what I've been talking about, remember, there's a way out. Remember, you can walk through this. Remember, you're not the only one experiencing this. And during these times, and I'm just calling them these times because I don't want to say special words that will trigger an algorithm on social media. But during these times, there is a lot that can trigger fear in a lot of people from a lot of social backgrounds. And we're talking from anything from economics, health, disconnection, social, everything being, and we don't adopt to change very likely. So I think if we can start there, if we can start with ourselves in trusting the process, we can walk through this in a very much lighter and brighter way. Healing through this chaos. How about healing through this chaos? How about, for example, joining me to do a juice fast through this chaos? A lot of people, and I know this, it's very easy to do this, that you sit down and you're like, oh no, I can't do anything of that now. I can't get better right now. I can't start a new regime right now. I can't do any of this right now because everything is so crazy, because I laid off work. I'm this, I'm that. I can't. You know what? It's like, it's bull crap. This is the time. If anything's not good right now, this is the time to step back and say, okay, so what can I do? What is under my control right now? What can I build? How can I build my immune system? How can I do better? Start. Join me for juicing. Join me for juicing in September. We're starting September 1st in the membership group. I made a completely new program, easy to follow. You download it, you follow. I make a lot of videos. We do this together. And I have something for everyone. You want to do a 3-day juice fast because you're coming from a sad diet. You never did juicing before. You never did fasting before. You have a lot to learn. This is for you. I have a 1-week program that we're going to do with those who wants to do the 1 week. Those have been doing a couple of days before. They might have been eating better. Maybe you've been trying to be raw. Maybe you've been vegan for a while. This is for you. And then we have the 3-week program, which are for the more experienced. If you've done a 1-week fast before. If you haven't done 1 week of juice fasting, you're missing out. And I don't want you to do the 3 weeks until you've done 1. And I'll make more videos about juicing, but I have a ton of information and videos on the membership site about juicing because we juice. We do juices juice fasting from time to time because it is so freeing and it's a reset. And sometimes we need the emotional reset that goes with it to detach ourselves from all of the addictions that we have. And do you know that even the emotional triggers like your anxiety could actually be an addiction, in the sense that you could be addicted to the feeling, the push and pull of that old experience or what you're living in. So if it was like this, something's not good for me, so I'm gonna leave it. I wish, right? I mean, even when we know what's not good for us, we tend to sit there. And this is really what interests me with human behavior. I'm interested in the cause. I'm interested in the why. And why is that? Because I've seen in my life and other people's lives that it's not until we get to the cause that things really change. You can do all of these things, you know, you can change your diet for a week here and there, but you need to get to the cause. You need to challenge yourself to the point where you can actually start relearning. Okay, so thank you for watching and keep on watching. And I promise you we'll get through this. And I promise you it doesn't have to be complicated. And I promise you it's not natural to not feel good. But if you do, allow your body to talk to you and listen. Listen. Okay, so I'll talk again to you soon. Bye for now. Go to inspiredbyhilde.com to see all my programs.